Archangel Michael says. It begins quietly, almost too quietly. You're going about your day when you hear the words, "We found something," in your handwriting. Your heart pauses. They lay it before you. A letter. Your script, your curves of ink, the unmistakable slant of your signature at the bottom. But your mind knows the truth instantly. You never wrote this. The moment you touch it, an unexplainable heaviness clings to your fingers. This isn't just paper and ink, it feels wrong. Like someone poured a strange energy into it. The words, though familiar in form, carry a vibration that does not belong to you. The sentences are crafted to sound like your voice, but beneath them is a shadowy intention that chills your spirit. And then, a sudden presence. Archangel Michael steps forward, his radiant armor gleaming like fire meeting water. His eyes are unblinking, holding you in a gaze that pierces through the surface of your fear. This was not written by your hand, he declares, his voice shaking the unseen around you. It was born from a spirit of deception, a shadow seeking to forge not just your words, but your truth. You realize this is more than forgery. Someone took the time to not only mimic your writing, they studied your mannerisms, your thought patterns, your way of expressing yourself. This wasn't done by a stranger who stumbled upon your name. Comment Amen to get blessings 789. No, this was someone who knows you. Michael's voice grows urgent. This letter is a weapon, designed to pierce your reputation, your peace, and even your spiritual influence. They intend for it to be seen by those whose trust matters most to you, so that their belief in you will fracture. But there is something else. You can feel it deep in your chest. This letter is only the surface of a much deeper plot. You sense it was not the first move, and it will not be the last. Michael lifts his sword, the blade humming with celestial light. You see, in the spirit, black threads coiling around the letter, threads that seem to pulse with intent. These are not ordinary lies. They are curses woven into written form, meant to stick in the minds of those who read them. The urgency grows. Archangel Michael says. If this letter is allowed to spread unchecked, it could become a false testimony that others believe. In the earthly realm, they may think it's just gossip or slander, but in the spiritual realm, such lies can try to write themselves into your destiny. Michael steps closer, his presence like a wall of unshakable light. You have been warned early, because heaven refuses to let this weapon prosper. But you must stay alert, for the one who set this in motion is not finished yet. You feel the truth settle in your spirit. This letter is not just a mistake or misunderstanding. It is a spiritual ambush. And the battle has just begun. Alright, here's section 2, the hidden hand behind the letter expanded to 550 words with the same urgent, dramatic, mystical tone. Comment Amen to get blessings 8909. Archangel Michael's gaze does not soften. If anything, it sharpens, as though he is looking through the letter into the heart of the one who created it. The hand that wrote this is not innocent, he says. It belongs to someone who wears familiarity like a disguise. A chill moves through you. The realization hits, the forger isn't some faceless stranger. They are someone with enough access to mimic your voice, enough boldness to believe they could get away with it, and enough shadow in their heart to desire your downfall. But Michael reveals something deeper. This was not merely a human act of deception, he warns. They were guided by a darker current, a spiritual influence that whispered in their ear, showing them how to twist the truth so it could pierce you in the deepest way. Your mind begins to race. Who would have reason to do this? Why now? Archangel Michael says. They are not just trying to harm your reputation. This is a trap. They want you to spend your time and energy defending a lie, so you are too distracted to walk in the power of your purpose. If they can anchor your attention to this falsehood, they believe they can slow the flow of heaven's blessings over you. Then, in a sudden vision, you see the person's hand as they write. The pen scratches across the page with unnatural speed, as though invisible fingers are guiding it. There is a sense of urgency, not because they are rushed, but because they are driven by a deadline in the spirit. Michael's voice cuts through the vision. They are working on borrowed time. The shadows know that your season of breakthrough is close. If they can plant this seed of destruction now, they hope it will take root before your harvest fully arrives. But then comes a revelation that makes your heart pound. The ink, the very substance on the page, holds an imprint. Not just fingerprints. A spiritual residue. Heaven can trace it. Michael has already marked it in the celestial realm, and no matter how much the writer hides, their identity will be revealed in the perfect moment. Comment Amen to get blessings 098. Michael continues. They are confident you will not find out in time. They believe you will either dismiss the letter as harmless or react in a way that confirms their lie. But heaven is steps ahead. Every move they make is already under surveillance by divine eyes. You realize this is a carefully calculated act, but it has a fatal flaw. They underestimated the watchfulness of heaven and the swiftness of truth. Michael steps forward until the tip of his flaming sword hovers just above the letter. The shadows around it hiss and retreat. The hand that forged this has already signed their own undoing, he declares. And before long, you will see who they are, not because you searched for them, but because they will expose themselves. Archangel Michael says. The trap they set for you is now the snare waiting for them. You thought this was a single act, one person's betrayal. But Archangel Michael leans in, his expression grave. This is not just about one hand holding a pen. It is about many hands moving in secret. His words drop into your spirit like heavy stones. The forged letter is not an isolated incident. It is a piece of something larger, a coordinated, deliberate web designed to pull you in and close over you. You see flashes in your mind, a circle of faces, some familiar, some shadowed. They are leaning together, whispering in hushed tones. The air between them is thick, like smoke that hides their true expressions. Michael explains. Some of these faces are from your past. They have kept fragments of old grudges, old envies, old misunderstandings, and now, they have found each other. This letter is their first united strike. The realization is unsettling. This isn't random slander, it's a convergence. It's as if life's separate storms have decided to meet in one place, your doorstep. And then Michael reveals something that makes your skin prickle. The words on the page are not neutral ink. They have been charged with intent, spiritual power twisted for harm. Words, he says, are living seeds. When written, they can still carry the power of creation, or destruction. This letter was crafted to plant a false image of you in the minds of others. If those seeds are watered by gossip or fear, they can grow into thorns that try to wrap around your destiny. Comment Amen to get blessings 980. Archangel Michael says. A scene unfolds before you in the spirit, you see the letter being passed from hand to hand. Each time, the shadows around it grow darker. But you also see a strange truth: not everyone who touches it will believe it. Some will pause. Some will question. Michael gives the reason. The enemy's plan is never flawless. Even now, doubt is being placed in the minds of those they hoped would be convinced. But you must be wise. Do not rush to defend yourself in your own strength, let heaven reveal the deeper layers. Then comes a chilling detail. This plan was conceived long ago, Michael says, but they waited for what they thought was your weakest hour. They have mistaken your silence for fragility. They have mistaken your focus for absence. And they will regret it. In that moment, you feel the paradox: yes, there is danger, but there is also divine strategy at work. The same network that formed against you is being quietly mapped by heaven. Every name, every meeting, every whispered plan is being recorded in the books of truth. Michael's final words in this vision are heavy with both warning and promise. They believe you will be caught off guard. But heaven says, you are already steps ahead. And when the moment comes, the entire web will unravel, not strand by strand, but all at once. You now know, you're not dealing with a single act of betrayal. You're dealing with a conspiracy. And conspiracies rarely survive the light. Comment Amen to get blessings. 987. Archangel Michael's sword glows brighter, illuminating the letter until its words seem to shimmer in a strange, shifting light. Look closely, he instructs, and you realize this letter is more than forged words, it is a binding attempt. The ink begins to pulse, as if alive. Certain phrases seem to lift off the page, almost glowing red in the spirit. They are not just lies, they are declarations. Statements written to establish something about you, to stamp it as true in the minds of others. Michael's voice is steady but urgent. In the spiritual realm, written words can function like covenants. This letter was designed to act as a false contract, a counterfeit agreement claiming you consented to what you never spoke, did, or promised. You feel a sudden tightening in your chest. It's as if invisible ropes are trying to pull around you. If left unchallenged, Michael warns, such agreements can give darkness a foothold, not only to influence how people perceive you, but to delay blessings, opportunities, and divine connections appointed for you. The truth hits you like a wave: this letter is not just an earthly problem. It is a spiritual theft in progress. You see a vision of a courtroom, not on earth, but in heaven's realm. Angels stand at the edges. On the other side, shadowy figures slide the forged letter across a table, as if presenting evidence. They are trying to register it as an official record. Michael slams his sword into the floor of that vision, and the ground trembles. They cannot seal what heaven has not signed, he declares. But you must revoke it in both realms, by truth and by spirit. The sense of urgency intensifies. You understand that the attack isn't simply about slander, it's about altering your spiritual positioning. If this counterfeit agreement remains unaddressed, it could subtly push you off the path of certain blessings, redirecting what was meant for you to another. Comment Amen to get blessings. 080. Michael steps closer. Your name carries divine authority. They are trying to attach your name to something that carries bondage, so that when others speak it, they unknowingly agree with the lie. But heaven is intervening. You will not be bound by this false covenant. In your spirit, you see yourself tearing the letter in half, but when you rip it, the fragments burn with holy fire until nothing remains but light. The ropes around your chest fall away. Michael's voice is both fierce and reassuring. You are not powerless here. This letter does not have the final word, you do. And your word will align with the word of the Most High, whose decrees cannot be undone. Then comes the prophecy that steadies your heart. If you act now, both in prayer and in wisdom, not only will this false contract be nullified, but the very attempt to bind you will backfire, releasing blessings faster than they intended to steal them. The enemy tried to write your future without permission. But heaven holds the pen. Michael's presence grows stronger, the light around him pushing back every lingering shadow. Do not think, he says, that you must fight this with only your hands. Heaven has already secured the proof you need. The moment he speaks, you see a vision of a golden scroll being unsealed in the spiritual realm. On it are dates, names, and moments, every movement of the one who forged the letter recorded with divine precision. You realize that long before you even knew about this attack, heaven had been gathering evidence. Comment Amen to get blessings 900. Michael continues. Every lie leaves a trail. The one who wrote this left fingerprints not just in the natural, but in the spirit. They cannot erase their energy from what they touched. The truth is marked on the very fibers of the page. You suddenly see an image in the vision, the forger sitting at a table, unaware that angelic watchers are present. Every keystroke, every curve of their handwriting, is being documented in a heavenly ledger. They think their act was hidden, but in the spiritual realm it has been captured from beginning to end. Michael's eyes flash with certainty. You will not need to beg for this truth to come out. The proof will surface in a way that even they cannot dispute. Heaven's justice is not partial, when it arrives, it will be undeniable. And then, the twist. The one who forged the letter is not working alone, but not all of their helpers are loyal. There is an ally in their midst, someone they trust, who will be the one to bring the evidence into the light. Michael leans in. An unexpected messenger will carry this proof to you. They may not look like an ally at first. They may come with hesitation, unsure of how much to reveal. But when they speak, you will know their words are true. In your spirit, you see the moment this proof comes forward. The forged letter is laid beside authentic writings of yours, and the differences, invisible to casual eyes, glow like fire to those who know the truth. The forgery will crumble under the weight of exposure. Comment Amen to get blessings 101. But Michael gives a warning. Do not rush to confront before the appointed moment. The enemy is hoping you will react too soon, giving them the chance to twist your response into further lies. Wait for the exact time, and when you speak, the truth will thunder louder than their falsehood. You feel the confidence of heaven settling on you. You are not stumbling in the dark, you are walking toward a moment already prepared for your vindication. Michael's final words in this section strike like a prophecy. They believe they are building a case against you, but they are building a witness stand for their own undoing. Every step they take now is leading them into the light they fear most. The proof is not just coming, it's already in motion. Michael's expression changes. It is no longer just fierce, it carries the focused intensity of a commander giving battlefield instructions. The evidence is in motion, he says, but you have a role to play. This is a time for precision, not panic. You feel the weight of his words. The enemy's trap is not just physical, it's psychological. They are watching for your reaction, waiting to twist even your smallest move into something they can use. If they can provoke you into anger, fear, or impulsive action, they believe they can make you look guilty in the eyes of others. Michael raises his hand, and you see 3 blazing symbols appear in the air: guard, align, declare. 1. Guard your words. In this season, your tongue is your sword, he says. Do not waste it on defending yourself to the wrong ears. Let silence speak where noise would weaken you. You understand, not every accusation deserves an immediate answer. Not every question requires your voice. Sometimes the most powerful response is the one they cannot twist: stillness. 2. Align your spirit. Michael instructs you to spend intentional time in alignment with heaven's voice, prayer, declaration, and worship that keeps your spirit rooted in truth. This is not just about surviving this attack, it is about ensuring you emerge without the residue of bitterness or fear. You will not come out of this limping, you will come out standing taller. 3. Declare heaven's verdict. You see yourself standing in that spiritual courtroom again, this time speaking aloud: I reject and revoke every false word and contract written against me. I align only with heaven's decree over my life. As you speak, the forged letter turns to ash in the vision, and the ashes blow away into light. Michael's tone turns urgent again. Comment Amen to get blessings 879. Do not confront before the appointed time. You will know when it comes, it will feel like the weight of heaven is behind your words. Until then, let the enemy think you are unaware. Every day they believe that lie is another day they walk deeper into the net set for them. You realize that this battle isn't about chasing lies, it's about standing so firmly in truth that the lies collapse under their own weight. Michael continues. Your calm will confuse them. Your confidence will unsettle them. And when you speak, the power of truth will shatter every shadow they've built. Then comes the promise, fierce and unshakable. If you follow these steps, not only will the letter be exposed for the forgery it is, but the very network that conspired against you will begin to fracture. Those who plotted together will turn on one another, and their unity in deception will dissolve. You are not helpless. You are being positioned. And heaven is giving you the exact moves that will lead to victory. The air shifts. You feel it before you see it, a sudden lightness, like the atmosphere itself has changed. Michael speaks, his voice carrying the sound of both command and comfort. While you have been standing in truth, heaven has been moving. The counterattack is already underway. You're shown a vision. The forged letter, still surrounded by its black threads of falsehood, is on a table in a dimly lit room. Shadows hover around it, whispering, guiding, trying to decide where to send it next. But then, a rush of light pierces the room. Angels move in, their presence so strong that the shadows scatter instantly. One angel takes the letter, holding it carefully, not destroying it yet, but sealing it in a golden covering. Michael explains. Heaven does not simply remove evidence, heaven redirects it. The same letter meant to accuse you is being rerouted to those who will question it, expose it, and dismantle it. You then see another scene. The letter is placed before a person who was supposed to believe it without hesitation, someone who could have used it against you. But instead, a sudden thought crosses their mind: something about this doesn't feel right. They hesitate. They look closer. And that moment of doubt is all heaven needs to open the door for truth to enter. Michael leans closer, his tone filled with certainty. This is why you were told to wait. The longer you stand in quiet strength, the more the enemy's narrative unravels under the weight of its own lies. Doubt is already forming in the very camp that conspired against you. Comment Amen to get blessings 099. The vision shifts again, you see the forger pacing nervously. Their plan is not unfolding the way they imagined. They expected swift results. Instead, they're being met with silence and suspicion. They begin to overthink, to make small mistakes. They send messages they shouldn't. They speak to people they should have avoided. Michael's eyes flash. Every misstep is being recorded. They will betray their own secret by their own hand. Then, a surge of light floods the vision. Angels are moving faster now, intercepting conversations, blocking harmful actions, and ensuring that those meant to be deceived are instead positioned to see the truth. Michael's voice grows softer, but no less powerful. This is the beauty of heaven's justice, it not only stops the attack, it turns it into a testimony. The very thing meant to harm you will be the reason others see the power of your God. You understand, the enemy's plan isn't just failing, it's backfiring. The forged letter is no longer a weapon in their hands. It is a key in heaven's hands, unlocking exposure and victory. And Michael ends with a promise. You will watch as the lie collapses in real time. And when it does, those who once doubted will stand beside you, declaring you were true all along. The battle is no longer just being fought for you, it's being fought in front of witnesses who will one day tell the story of your vindication. The vision shifts one final time. The forged letter, once pulsing with the shadowy energy of deceit, now glows faintly, not because it is holy, but because every false thread has been burned away by the fire of truth. Michael stands tall, his sword lowered but still ablaze. Comment Amen to get blessings 905. The moment has come, he says. The lie is broken. The truth is speaking for itself. You see the exposure unfold like a sudden sunrise. Those who were meant to be convinced by the forgery are now holding the evidence of its falsehood. Shock flashes across their faces as they realize the depth of the deception. Whispers begin, not against you, but against the one who forged your name. The tables have turned. Michael's voice carries a deep, resonant certainty. This is the turnaround heaven promised you, not partial, not delayed, but complete. What they meant for harm has been transformed into the very proof of your integrity. In the vision, you watch the forger standing in the light. They are unable to move, unable to hide. The same people they once tried to persuade now confront them with undeniable truth. There is no escape, no plausible excuse. Every word they wrote has become a rope binding them to their own actions. Michael turns to you, his eyes warm but firm. You will walk away from this not as a victim, but as a witness to heaven's justice. This is not just your vindication, it is your elevation. You feel it in your spirit, this battle was never just about clearing your name. It was about revealing your authority in the spiritual realm. You did not fight with the enemy's tools, rage, slander, retaliation, but with the strategies of heaven, silence when needed, declarations in faith, alignment with divine timing. And now, there's a ripple effect. People who once doubted you are not just apologizing, they are being drawn to the truth you carry. Some approach you quietly, confessing that they believed lies before, but now they see the reality. Others are emboldened by your victory to face their own hidden battles. Michael lifts his sword again, pointing it forward. This exposure is not the end, it is a doorway. Another revelation is coming, and it is greater than what you have seen. This forged letter was meant to distract you from it. But now that the distraction has failed, heaven will show you what it was hiding behind. Comment Amen to get blessings 867. You sense the weight of his words. The enemy's defeat here has unlocked something else, a larger truth, a bigger breakthrough. Michael's final declaration echoes like thunder. They tried to use your own hand against you. But now, God will use your voice to set others free from chains they didn't even know they carried. You are not only cleared, you are commissioned. The forged letter is gone. The truth is established. And you step forward, not just restored, but transformed.